Hey, Wargamer Shawn, coming back at you. We're going to start with the heavy support choice for Codex Orks. There's a lot of them, and they're good. They're really hard to choose from. It's kind of like the HQ section in Orks. There's a lot of good ones to choose from. Big gun or mech guns. We talked about those before from the White Dwarf. I think they're awesome. I think the Bubble Chucker is pretty sucky. I would not pay 12 extra points to have something that's kind of a wanky. You don't know what's going to happen with it. However, for 18 points, you can have a gun. You can have a lava for free, or the cannon, which is what you got before free. You used to have to pay extra for the lava. I think lavas are awesome with the barrage, strength 5, blast. Kind of talked about it already when we were going over the weapons. I think they're awesome. I think they're worth it. I think the cannons are good. I think the zap gun has its place. It's only 5 points extra. The custom mega cannon's good, but 12 points extra, maybe. Smash a gun, 12 points extra, maybe worth it. Tractor cannon, yeah. I mean, especially if you think you're going to be seeing flyers or flying super heavy gargantuan flying monstrous creatures, or just flying monstrous creatures. I mean, it's just awesome against them. I did take him in a practice game just to play with him, and unfortunately the guy I played didn't have any flyers or any flying monstrous creatures, so they didn't do that much during the game because they had to snap fire at things on the ground. But they did take out for Space Marines, they took out a drop pod. But big guns, or mech guns, good. And they're cheap. You can take up to 5 of them total in the squad. So I think they're good. Battle wagons, 110 points, heavy sport choice. They got a little bit more expensive, and you don't get any weapons with them at all. You used to get a free big shooter with them, now you don't get anything. Yeah, you can buy a hard case for it, which limits your 5 fire points, 2 on either side, 1 on the rear, and you're not going to be able to assault out of it. You can get the kill cannon for 30 points, which is cheaper. You can get a cannon, lava, or zap gun for 10 points. Rocket launchers for 5 points. Big shooters for 5 points. Death roller for 10 points. Why? Hard case, 15 points. Grab and claw, 5 points. And you can take vehicle equipment list. Honestly, I would take the reinforced ram before I took a death roller. Death Dread, he's 80 points. Get a little bit more expensive. And you can kit him out the same. Grot Rigger's only 10 points, which is nice. Extra armor's 10 points. Grot Rigger's, it will not die. He's nice. With the other things in heavy support, I just don't see him being used that much, except for maybe if you know you're going to run a lot of cans and the cowardly grots kind of get aided with the Death Dread. That's the only time I really see him being played, potentially. He's not bad, it's just there's other things that are so much better. The mech guns, the Morkanaut, in my opinion. Now the Killicans, I love Killicans. I loved them before. I really don't like I guess I understand it. I don't like the cowardly grots rule. I understand they are cowardly grots, but if you have 25% or more casualties in any phase, then you have to roll d6, and you add 1 to the dice roll if you have more than 3 or more Killicans in the unit, and if it Death Dreads within 6 inches. On a result of 3 or more, the test is passed. On a 1 or 2, it's failed and the crew is shaken. So basically, they're snap firing. You can have 6 Killicans instead of 3 in a squad now, which is pretty dang cool in my opinion. You can give them rocket launchers for free instead of the big shooter, which I definitely would, because the big shooter, Can Claw comes with as well. It's okay. We kind of talked about that. Their base strength 5. They get +2 to the strength, so strength 7. Still pretty good. Gratsuka 5 points. I don't really think Gratsuka is worth it. Custom Mega Blaster, yeah, 5 points is worth it. Scorcher 5 points. Honestly, if you want Scorchers, put them on something else. Don't waste it on grots that can actually have a chance at shooting something. In my opinion, Grot Riggers are 5 points. I don't know. They're 2 hull points. Honestly, if they're getting shot, they're probably not going to survive getting shot. I don't know if it's worth the 5 points for Grot Riggers on Killicans, honestly. because I think they're just going to die. So these are the ones that I would hesitate before I took Grot Riggers on them. And the extra armor's 10 points. I don't think that's worth it either. But Killicans I still think are good. The Gorkanaut, its base point cost is cheaper than the Morkanaut, but honestly the Morkanaut you're probably going to give it a custom force field, which is 50 points, which is going to make it 280 points versus 245. I just don't think the Gorkanaut's that great. They get the same stat lines, same hull points. I just, I don't know. Like, I just don't think the Deathstorm Mega Shooter is that great. And with Ork shooting, it's not twin linked. So I just don't think it's worth it. I honestly think the Morkanaut is awesome. I don't think the Gorkanaut's worth it. So I'm going to kind of talk more about the Morkanaut. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 8, basically front armor 13, side armor 13, rear armor 12, initiative 2, which sucks, but they are orcs, attacks 4, hull points 5. Now, there's one access point at the front, and it can carry 6 models. This is where I would probably put Burner Boys with some mechs in there because they're free in that squad, because you can trade in up to 3 of them. And try to keep that thing alive. Put a Grot Rigger on it for 20 points. Potentially the extra armor, it gets pricey, but extra armor for 10 points, being able to ignore, a crew shaken is nice. Custom force field, I think, is worth it on these guys. Plus, you get a nice bubble around it. So I think it's worth it because it's actually a vehicle that fields it. So it's got a 6-inch bubble versus if you have a big mech in a vehicle, it's not going to get that bubble. Plus the Claw of Mork or Gork is awesome. So strength 10, AP 1, concussive. I just think the Morkanaut is awesome. He's expensive, but I think he's awesome. I mean, I think he's a good centerpiece, or just charging forward with a group of boys. I think they're awesome. Luda's got, I think, a point cheaper, or maybe I think they got a point cheaper. I think they were 15 points before. I think they got cheaper. Their def gun's the same. They've got stick bombs now. You can take a mech, basically, I think up to 3 of them. Honestly, though, if you're taking Ludas, you probably want to take as many Ludas as you can and not put a mech in there, but maybe. Maybe you do. I mean, I don't know. I stuck actually one of my games. I stuck a mech in that group. One of the extra mechs I took. But I don't know. Ludas are good. I just think they're in a hard spot where they're taking up a slot that I'd rather use for other things. But I guess I'm whining because I'm used to them being in elites. If they were always in heavy, I wouldn't be complaining. But I do think you're gonna have to think about it more. Flash Gits are in heavy. I would have also liked to see them in elites, just because I think they're more of an elite choice versus heavy, but they got better. I think the Stas gun got better, and they got a little cheaper. I think their new models just are awesome looking. Fortunately, I have a bunch of the old metal ones, so I don't see myself getting the new models, but they are just freaking beautiful. GW did a great job on these models. They're just beautiful. They're worth a look. I don't think they're worth having on a vehicle because you don't really want them moving, honestly. But the crappy thing is they almost need to have a big mech with them with a custom force field to keep them alive, because they only got a 6-up save, and so many things ignore cover. Even if they're stuck in cover, they almost need that invuln save. So I don't know. They're so expensive for what you get. It just makes me mad when you have to pay so much. I mean, we talked about it before when the White Dwarf came out. I was talking about the points. So that's it on the heavy sport. Now we're going to go to Lords of War. The Stampa at 770 points is a Lord of War. No surprise there. It actually made it into a codex, which is exciting. It's kind of more like here in your face, people. Lords of War are here to stay in a normal codex and in a normal game, which I'm ready to accept. Kind of helps kind of keep the Death Stars at bay, because people are going, gosh, at the Stomp on the 6 I lose it. I don't want to risk that. I'm not going to take these expensive units. So, but the Stompa, I gotta say, is freaking awesome sauce. I mean, You can put a Grot Rigger on it for 30 points. It's got 12 hull points. You put some mechs and a big mech in there. Good luck killing that thing, especially with a KFF on it. I mean, it's going to be tough to kill. Especially in the WOG Gazgul. They have a special custom force field that's better. I mean, the Stomp is just amazing. What else can you say? Stomp is good, and it's a Lord of War. Now, I don't understand why Gazgul Thraka is a Lord of War. It does not make a lot of sense to me. He's the same points. He has Mega Armor, Cyborg Body, which doesn't really help because it's a 6+ Feel No Pain. I guess it's kind of helps. He's Eternal Warrior like he used to be. He lost the Ed-Butt rule where when he charged, he got 2 attacks on the charge versus a 1 bonus attack. But his Prophet of Gork and Mork is same, except he can't call it at any time anymore, and he has to call it after the first turn. He does have a 2-up invuln save. And his power allows Mega Armored troops to run on the turn that he calls a WOG, despite having slow and purposeful. So that's kind of cool. I don't know, I love Gazzy. I always love Gazzy, because from way back. So I'm sure I'll run. I've already played him already in this new edition. I'm sure I'll run him. He's probably not worth the points, but he's just so dang cool. It just sucks that he eats up the Lords of War slot because the Stompa is so cool. But that's all. We went through the formation already. You know, I don't know. I think it's a cool codex. There's some things that got nerfed, some things that got better. Overall, you know, I really, when I first read it, and I didn't want to review it right away because I had a very sour taste in my mouth after reading it. I thought this codex sucked. I think it has its downfalls, it has its pros. I still think, though, they want it to be an assaulty army, and they're helping it be a better assaulty army. But in 7th edition and 6th edition, but now 7th edition is where this codex came out, it's very much a shooting man's game, and I still think the orcs are going to lag on that. And so I think it has potential to be competitive, but I think it's going to be a hard one to be competitive with in this edition. Now maybe with the Stompa and Lords of War that's going to be different, but without the Stompa I think it's a little harder to be really competitive. Now I'll do the Gazgul WOG Gazgul soon, but there's some things in there that kind of help buff it or take, you know, Gazgul out of a Lord of War slot because he has his own formation. But you know, overall, I guess it's okay. I was just kind of hoping for more. However, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on it. I do like it a lot more than I like the Tyranid Codex. I didn't like the new Tyranid Codex that much. I was disappointed in it, and this one I'm at least happier with. I think it's got its builds and options. So time will tell, I guess. And you can feel free to agree or disagree with me. You can leave your comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed the series of talks. I'm going to do another one on WOG Gazgul and the Red WOG soon. Until then, this is Wargamer Shawn signing off. Bye.
Goodbye. 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 Bye-bye. Goodbye. See ya. Bye for now. Bye for now. Goodbye. I like bottoms.